Chapter 1, Double Delights. Urban Radio Station, Charleston, SC. DJ Nyla B. What's up, Sugar Creek? We have our very own Joss Miller on the show today. Joss, thank you for being here today. Joss, thank you for having me. DJ Nyla B. Not a problem, girlfriend. Now you and me go way back. Tell our listeners about your recently launched true crime podcast. I hear it's getting a lot of attention. Why did you start it? Joss. Sure. The Cold Justice podcast dives into real stories of victims of a crime. This first season is very close to home for me. The circumstances of my grandfather's death in 1968 have never really been addressed, and I don't want people to forget what happened. DJ Nyla B. I feel you, girl. It takes a lot of courage to delve into personal and often painful stories. Can you give our listeners a glimpse into your grandfather's case? Joss. Absolutely. My grandfather, August Manning, was a beloved member of this community. He was a kind-hearted man who, I've been told, was one of the greatest baseball players in the South. It was his dream to play Major League Baseball like Jackie Robinson. His murder was never fully investigated, but many of the young men who beat him to death were from prominent families in the community. DJ Nyla B. That's tough. It sounds like you're on a mission to seek justice for your grandfather. Can you tell us a little about what listeners can expect from the podcast? Joss. Certainly. The podcast will take listeners on a journey through the stories of those who knew my grandfather and the impact his death had on our community. All episodes will be available for all those folks who like to binge through a podcast. I pray it sparks some closure for my family. DJ Nyla B. Well, Joss, your passion and dedication are truly inspiring. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be eagerly tuning in to the Cold Justice podcast and supporting you. Joss, thank you so much for having me. Monday, September 12th, 3:30 p.m. It's finally happening. You did it, Joss. A sharp, burning pain zapped my hand, diffusing my burst of joy. Ouch! My hands shook as I carefully put the carafe back on the warmer, not wanting to cause any more injury to myself. I cringed as a tiny puddle of coffee inched closer to the edge of the counter. In my excitement of hearing my morning interview on the radio, I'd actually missed pouring the coffee into the cup. Snagging a cloth from underneath the counter, I dabbed up the coffee before I ended up having to mop the floor, too. I looked down at my scorched hand, but still kept an ear trained on the speaker in the corner of the ceiling. DJ Nyla B had switched back to a smooth, head-bobbing melody. I'd known DJ Nyla B since elementary school, when she was just Nyla Masters. I knew she would continue to promote the interview and the podcast throughout her shift on the radio today. You should slap some aloe on that hand, a deep, masculine voice advised me. Looking across Sugar Creek Cafe's counter, a customer had entered without me noticing. How long had he been standing there? Oh wow, he's new, and a total snack. My lips curved into a grin, even though my cheeks burned and my hand throbbed. I moved toward the register to take his order, probably looking like a grade A klutz. Hi there. Sorry about that. What can I get you today? The man had brown eyes that oozed with worry. He sported a fade around the sides of his oval-shaped face and had a tuft of curly hair on top. Are you okay? He inquired. At first, I thought I must have been staring at him too hard, but then I noticed he was focused on my injured hand. Why was he so worried? Although my hand was still stinging, it really wasn't that bad. Hiding my pain was something I'd become quite good at over the years. I'm all good, I said, flashing him another smile to conceal my discomfort. You should probably get that checked out. The man motioned toward my hand as if he wanted to examine it more closely, but thought better of it and pulled back. I tucked my hand behind my back, keeping up the facade, smiling and holding eye contact. No worries, just one hazard of being a barista. It was time to get the focus off of me and onto this man who held my attention. Are you new here? I've never seen you in here before. Sugar Creek was a pretty tight-knit community, and the cafe was a center of attraction. I felt like most residents and tourists came through these doors. He smiled. Just moved to Charleston. Started at the CPD a few weeks ago as one of their detectives. Heard around the station that Sugar Creek Cafe has the best coffee in Charleston. A detective? I totally pegged him for a doc, but detective somehow upped his hotness quotient. Calm down, Joss. You're on the clock.